Hi, my name's Lisa and I live in this tiny 1969 vintage caravan, traveling all around the place and doing a little bit of saxophone busking on the side for a bit of extra income. This is my travel buddy Pixie Angel, and this is the inside of my caravan home that I call Priscilla, and she is 15 feet long and it is very tiny living. Good morning, my beautiful people. Okay, as promised, the recipe to my legendary carnivore pancakes, basically. Let's be honest, they're completely carnivore. So yeah, welcome to my kitchen, which is also my lounge room, which is also my bedroom. My tiny place. And I'm going to show you first of all what we need, and then I will show you how it's done. And it's so easy, and I'll show you the results and you will love this. Now, really simple and 100% carnivore, and I have a tripod that just slowly sinks by itself, so I'm gonna have to keep adjusting it every now and then because it's sliding down. But let's get on with the recipe, and we will be cooking it in my little kitchen here. That's pretty much my setup here. See, right next to my bedroom, right next to my lounge room, right next to my puppy, Pixie. Is actually a slide across bench top. See, it slides across like that. It gets a bit stiff. It actually broke when I went on a really bumpy road once in Wilcannia, and then this little latch I had to put in. And this is where, in the old days, in the days of the original caravan, there would have been a gas stove here. But I don't use gas at all, especially not in an older caravan. So I've just got a single burner hot plate, my little mini air fryer. The handle fell off, also on the bumpy road from Wilcannia to Menindee Lakes. My kettle, and there is a saucepan and a strainer and a couple of little things that just sit in there, but that's the kitchen. I have gathered the ingredients that we need and the utensils to cook my magic carnivore pancakes. Step one, I like to use a ceramic bowl rather than plastic for beating up my eggs. We'll take 2 eggs, beat them in a bowl. If you want to use a whisk during this stage, obviously you can use a whisk. I just find a fork just works just as well. And I beat them pretty well. Okay, those eggs are nice and fluffied up at the moment. So now we add in the magic ingredient, gelatin powder. And I got onto this because, you know, I've got joint and bone issues, and I've also had gut issues, and everything I read was saying that collagen in particular is a really good supplement to add to your diet. Collagen is really expensive, and when I did a little bit of research into what the difference is between gelatin and collagen, not a hell of a lot as far as nutritional benefits go. The main difference is that gelatin, it creates jelly, you know, but that's about it, whereas collagen will dissolve and liquid. I don't know, something like that. That's a processing situation. Collagen is cooked and this isn't, or I can't remember, to be honest with you. This is not a very good explanation, but trust me, you will get all the healing benefits you need from gelatin at about half the price of collagen, because people use, and that, you know, that may well be helping my skin and hair as well. It probably is. My fingernails have been strong, my joints have been feeling good. I have been doing this on and off for a few years, but sometimes I just can't afford to do it. But I did stock up, and I've got 2 of these, the 500 gram ones. They're pretty good. So that, and then I got thinking, so how I discovered this recipe was totally by chance. So I had been working out how could I incorporate this into my diet, because I'm only eating like scrambled eggs pretty much, or crumpled eggs actually, with lots of butter in it or ghee. And mince is pretty much the main thing I eat these days. And I'm like, could I sprinkle some in with my mince? I kind of did that a few times, just give it an extra bit, you know. And then I thought, I wonder what it would be like if I mixed it in with my eggs, just as an experiment. And what I discovered was, and now I think about it, it makes perfect sense, because the reason we use flour in recipes is because the gluten in flour holds things together. Well, gelatin does the same thing. So anywhere where you use flour, and I know there's a lot of, you know, people will use different types of flour to avoid wheat if they're gluten intolerant. But as a carnivore, we can't use any grains at all, and that's a distinct no-no. And imagine my absolute surprise when I found that this created a pancake batter. So into my scrambled up eggs there in the bowl, I just put 2 level tablespoons of the gelatin powder. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I have put 2 level tablespoons of the gelatin into my mixed up egg, and as that blooms, I'll just keep mixing. I kind of need 2 hands for this one, but I will keep mixing that gelatin in, and eventually the lumps will disappear as the gelatin dissolves, and what you end up with is a batter-like consistency of thickness. Just let it bloom, just keep letting it bloom, and mixing. It is already starting to get smoother. I'll scrape those edges off with a spoon when I've got my free hand. It's not that hard, it does it quite well. So you can see it's already thickening up quite significantly. Next thing I put in there is ghee. Now I will actually, it's a little not very warm today, so the ghee is solidified. So I will just melt a tablespoon of that on my fry pan, and then pour that into the mixture as well. As you can see, that ghee is melting quite quickly. I will keep the pan on fairly low because this one's quite a powerful big element and it only needs to be on low. So I put a little bit extra in there as well because I will leave some in the pan for actually cooking with. All right, in she goes. And I just wipe the edge with a paper towel so it doesn't burn when it goes back on the element. And then I'm just going to mix that melted ghee in the batter. Sort of fold it in. And once it's nicely folded, more mixing. All the while you're doing this, your batter is just getting thicker and thicker. The gelatin is expanding. I have mixed that up now for another couple of minutes. It's looking pretty smooth and very thick, as you can see. Pancake-like batter, right? So now, very smooth. Now what I'll do is I'll add into there a sprinkle of salt. Just, I don't know, couple of sprinkles, 1, 2, 3, 4, not too much. You can always put salt on top of it if you like it salty. I like it more kind of pancakey, sweety flavored, so I keep it like that. A little bit of that. And up here in my little pantry, we've got another ingredient, what I also use in my electrolytes drink mix for just a little bit of extra potassium. It's actually made of potassium carbonate, I think it is. And that also makes the egg whites form like what you use in meringues and things to make the egg whites stiffen. And I think it actually makes the consistency of it fluffier. So I put about 1/4 teaspoon in with my mixture. Mix that in as well. Can you see how beautiful that looks? It really is just smooth, thick, batter-like. It's time to cook this baby up. I am going to use a little spatula-y thing, rubbery spatula. I don't know what you call that. Anyway, I'll put it in up here and then I can spread it around. I'll show you what it looks like. We want all that into the pan. That's all spread out in the pan. It's on the element on fairly low. And it starts bubbling, as you can see, just like a traditional pancake mix. As it cooks, you will see more bubbles coming up. And cooking in ghee rather than butter means that it won't burn on the bottom. Well, it will if you leave it for too long, but I'll keep an eye on it, and you can kind of see as it starts cooking around the edges there. It probably takes a couple of minutes. As you can see, it's really starting to bubble up now, doing its thing. The trick I find is to just be patient, cook it slowly, don't be in a rush. Better to cook it slowly on a low heat, just to allow all that process of rising to occur. The hard bit is to know exactly when to flip it, but I've kind of been working on this for a while now, perfecting it over the last kind of month or so, and I'm looking at the amount of bubbles. It's kind of, I remember my grandma telling me this, like when you're cooking pancakes, like once you see the bubbles coming up all around and in the middle, like it is right now, then that's pretty much time to flip it. Now it will still be moist on the top and runny, so I usually take it off the element and put it on the countertop to and put another little dollop of ghee before I flip it over, and be very gentle about how you flip it so that it doesn't splatter everywhere. When it's looking like this, that is time to flip, so let's do it. Okay, I've got my extra dollop of ghee, which I'll just slide in there. All right, let that ghee run around the bottom and flip. And that's what it looks like on top. Beautiful. And back on the element. This part of things happens pretty quickly. You can see it puffing up. Look at that. Doesn't that just look like some kind of heaven? Trust me, when you taste it, you'll be in raptures. Side view. So you can see it really rising and puffing up like a big puffy pancake. Absolutely delicious. And I'll probably only leave it on for about a minute on this side. You can just lift it up and have a look if you want, but I just let it be. I know that the element has now pretty much turned itself off as far as the heat goes, so I'll leave it turned on for about a minute, and then I switch it off, because these elements, they hold their heat for quite a while, and it is a big element. So once I've turned it off, it'll still, I mean, at the moment the light's off, so the thermostat has turned itself off just because there's enough heat in there. And I leave it there basically just to sort of continue drying and cooking slowly. Oh, that's looking really good. Really nice around the sides. That beautiful ghee golden crispiness on the outside. Alrighty, my pancake is ready and I'm excited. So I'll just grab a plate and serve her up and show you what it looks like. Okay, Mr. Pancake. Let's see what the other side looks like. Beautiful, golden and delicious. Look how thick it is. There it is, my magic pancakes. We're going to call them Lisa's Magic Pancakes, okay? I don't know if anyone else has ever discovered this little trick before. I haven't actually looked up to see if anyone else has discovered this. I'm just pretty stoked that I discovered it all by myself. Just wait till you taste it. Oh my goodness, so delicious. Yum, yum. Now, obviously, if you're not strict about your carnivore type diet and you just want to try adding a little bit of gelatin into a recipe just to get it into your body in a healthy way, because it's good for bone, gut, joints, hair, nails, skin, everything. So it's a way of getting collagen. Then you could drizzle maple syrup over the top of this. You could put bacon on it. You could put whipped cream. I mean, even if you're carnivore, we're allowed cream. You could put whipped cream on top. I might try that one day. That would be quite delicious. But I just have mine with a sprinkle of salt, and that's pretty much it. And when you taste it, you'll be in raptures. I'll show you what it looks like. Look at that. It just looks like a pancake, right? An absolutely fluffy, delicious pancake. And it tastes like a pancake too, which is kind of awesome. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And yeah, this is it's actually lunchtime now. This is pretty much what I have as my first meal. Look at that. Thank me later. Try it. I'd love to hear your reactions if you try it. And let me know in the comments what you thought about it, and if you're, you know, not as strict on your diet as I am and you drizzle it with maple syrup and whipped cream, I swear you will not know the difference between this and a flour-based pancake mix. So I'm pretty excited about this. Bon appetit. Enjoy.